Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Renny.
Hi, I'm Sara. I'm Tori.
And I'm Josh. And for the second week in a row, we are going over another play. I'm hoping to get more plays on the agenda for Literary Gladiators.
Please, not another Beckett play.
Please, not another Beckett play.
Do it. Please, not another Beckett play. Do it
I
to
don't know
us,
if I
Josh.
can promise that. Sarah's really...
I mean, look at that face.
Do it.
Look at that face.
This is hard.
Okay.
This is hard to
I'll
picture.
think about it.
Okay, thank you.
But,
Josh likes this because he got to direct it, so he had the best part in the play. The rest of the play is, I'll give it a 1.5 to start.
Wow, that is
I am not a fan, one, of the theater of the absurd, and two, I've said many times, I went to see Waiting for Godot twice, and I could not wait. I left the theater both times. So the only good thing about this is it's very short, and it has no words.
we didn't even tell anybody what we went over. We're going over... We're going over Act Without Words 2.
Yeah, we're going to say
And
more about it
according
than
to
the
what
play
everybody
does.
here is saying, it's from Samuel Beckett.
I have no words about this play other than it was so bad.
Okay,
It was short
the
and I was
discussion
loud.
starter for this is...
We're going in reverse here.
I gotta tell them what the discussion starter is, then we can start
The discussion ender is...
You'll just have to edit.
Do you identify more with person A or person B?
I don't identify with anything else.
I didn't think I identified the play correctly at first.
I can't say that I've ever come out of a bag before, so I have trouble identifying with both.
I'm being
I
poked.
don't automatically...
Oh,
Have you-
that's
have you
right.
ever
I
done-
have been poked.
Poked.
Have you ever gone camping?
I haven't.
Fair enough.
I can't even say I've
Fair
been in a
enough.
sleeping bag.
Hmm.
I'm just way out there on this one.
Well, poor man's sleeping bag is called a sack. But, I
don't think that's what this is supposed to be, though. I think this is supposed to be like coming out of the womb or something.
I think more so it's just the cycle of life and how people respond to it.
Yeah.
Because Beckett, him being an absurdist, saw life to be completely meaningless. And I think that when you think about
Check, you did it
What-
with this play.
when you think about what happens in the play,
Nothing happens
the
in the play.
detail is very
I think
cut and dry,
the
but it's still...
description of the stage takes longer to read than it does the
Well, the play
actual
is very
scripting
short.
of the
Yeah, the
play.
play is
Yeah.
very
But did you
short.
guys see the
I think
diagrams that
one-
they have
Yeah, that's
here?
what I'm.
I
That is
actually
exactly what I'm
thought
talking about.
Words without, Play Without Words 1 was better and at least there is some
That's
real
far
kind of
more
action.
interesting
Yeah.
than this one. It's still
Far more.
absurd,
There is
and I
more.
still don't get it.
There is
but-
more detail. I
Yes.
mean, most of his, I would say, Waiting for Godot does have. This probably has the least amount of detail out of any of his plays, but yet there's a great deal of how one can approach life. You have person A who just just slogs along with life. He constantly broods. He prays for something out of his control. That's pretty much what he does. He relies on things outside of his control,
Yeah.
whether it be prayer or medication. And then you have person 2 who seems to have more control over their lives. They're a bit more optimistic. They
They take control
Yeah.
out of the the uncontrollability of it.
they exercise. They keep themselves clean. They actually take their meals seriously.
I don't know if you can really get that much out of it.
I was just going to say,
It
you
doesn't
are
last.
really
It doesn't last.
It's not
5
supposed to
minutes.
be. I
putting
don't think-
lipstick on this pig.
Yeah.
It is a slog of a 5-minute. Like, I literally, when I found this video on YouTube, looked at the thing. When I hit the first 10 seconds of it, was, I'm going to say this, pretentious.
That's what you think, and I'd be happy to give that pig a bath.
Yeah, well.
But I think that there is something that comes out of this particular play.
Well, I have to
think
say,
that-
it was first in French, And it supposedly was a long, long time before it was translated in English because the critics reacted to it so badly. So we're not on the, we're actually right in line with the criticism that has followed it along. You can do anything. I was saying to Josh earlier that I know a woman who lives next door to a woman whose daughter lives on Fulbrights and other scholarships, and she's an installation artist. And some of the things she does is like, she takes a piece of canvas the size of this rug and drops gravel all over the place, and that's supposed to be the randomness of life. It's good if you can get paid for doing that, but I don't know that that means any more than somebody in a sack.
That's what postmodernism has become, because people consider urinating on canvas and presenting it at
Yes, I know.
in a
Hanging
museum
tampons
as
from
art.
their ears as earrings, but that still is. I know the theater of the absurd is based on existentialism and coming out of World War II with the Holocaust, where life seemed to depend on not having meaning. But I think there are better ways to express, and I think there were even better theater of the absurd than Beckett.
Yeah, and that's like, I'm usually okay. I like absurdist theater because I think it gets goofy and weird. And
I think
that,
there
it's
is some
absurd,
that, I
but
mean, there's
nothing
people
here.
like Eugene Ionesco who
Yes, I
seems
think
to,
Ionesco is much better.
he does, he has more detail.
Yes.
Beckett's much more cut and dry. He's more, but then again, you have somebody that is able to make these simple actions and random extravaganzas and turn that into art is a genius.
I mean, I guess he gets the job done. We're still talking about it today.
So it means
I guess, yeah, but
Yeah.
I
Beckett's a Nobel Prize winner in literature, and
Yes,
he
I
got
know,
and he
yes.
got it midway through his career. It wasn't even
I
at
know,
the
but
end.
he
before.
also fell into a time period that really was crazy about that kind of material. I don't know that he would get it now. That's that is the question.
I don't know
also
about
with
that
big
because Bob
prizes.
Dylan got the Nobel
Oh well,
Prize in literature.
Bob Dylan does not deserve the Nobel Prize for literature, and I love Dylan. I even of Dylan's generation, but no,
Something-
no.
I think I find it interesting that there is a sense of organization that I found within this play because I
Because
was
there's only organization in this play. It's literally only organized actions of either you are type A or you are type B.
but yet they flip it.
No,
Because
it's literally ad infinitum.
Type A is type B, or in this case, he seems to be more type Z. Type B, or person B,
Yeah, personality. I
personality.
mean, like by the category because it's categorized in the script
But
as
in
person
the-
A, person B.
Right.
Yes.
So that's
the
what I'm
actual
but as far as
progression of
yeah,
Yeah.
play.
because they mention person A broods 11 times, person B
It's so specific.
consults their watch 11 times.
And I counted, and I literally
Right.
consulted my watch
Mm.
11 times.
So like this, like it's really
No,
short
33
to
times.
to read, and then if you look this up on YouTube, you're gonna find it, and you're gonna feel
You're gonna question,
really,
did I find it?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna
and
watch
yes,
it again.
and it's
yes.
really unsettling, and I don't think you're going to like it, but you know, who am I to talk?
Well, it's one thing that we're still talking about it, but I have to say, if Josh hadn't picked it, I wouldn't have been involved in it. And
Fair enough.
I consider
Same.
myself fairly widely read.
But
I like strange stuff and stuff that goes
Yeah.
outside the box and like stuff that might not make sense, and this just went far beyond.
Like I said, it was pretentious, and it was kind of almost like the way that a child acts in a certain way to say something to watch your response. It kind of almost felt like that. Like, I want to see the critics.
maybe the goad. The goad seemed like he was a pretentious, smug punk, but
I
because
could, you
he's
know,
often
the word punk was actually in Measure for Measure.
oh yes,
Yep.
Yes.
hmm
And shooty.
but
Wow, I thought that was interesting.
but
Yeah.
it granted in the adaptations that I've seen, the brood is often in here. It seems like the goad this here looks very much like a skateboard.
It's literally just a broom on a skateboard.
Which it's an air. It depends on the adaptation because the one that I saw with the updated Beckett performances, it looked like a cue stick that was waking up person A and person B. And it almost seems like the fact, I mean, I think the reason they did it the way they did it is because you can pay more attention to one person at a time, but it almost seems like they're from different ends of they live on two different hemispheres of the.
Yeah, they're two ships,
yeah.
you know, crossing in the
Two
night.
different
Like they
areas
don't.
of
I
the
think
globe.
there's a sensation of they don't know who the other one is. It's just the sack that they carry. Like
Yeah.
that, I'd agree with you, but I think that's about as much as I care to read into it because it left a bad taste in my mouth. Even though it was very short, it was just like
I don't think so. I think there's a lot to explore within that, but
I'm gonna let you do that, buddy.
I have an interest in the theater of the
I'm gonna leave
absurd
it to you.
because I think there's a lot that Beckett's work, because Waiting for Godot has a lot to offer. I think that
I never saw it, so I don't have any frame of reference. This
Well,
is
Waiting for Godot is fully developed, but again, it's holding your breath underwater.
Renny thought it was ridiculous, but we went over it in season 4, and I thought that there was so much substance to explore. I mean, there was so much substance and very little substance that there was.
because it's an open-ended play. There's no
Yeah.
end to it, so you can do whatever you want.
But
with
there's
that.
not. But it's a reflection of life in general.
I mean, so technically, it's an act without words.
Yes.
Too. But
In this case,
Well,
it is.
if you believe that life is absurd and there's no moral judgment and there is no reason for living, then it's interesting, I suppose, in some ways. But I think that it's very much tied to that post-war period of disillusionment, and that it's I don't know, unlike, say, Measure for Measure that you could translate into today. I really
No,
don't think
absolutely.
that some of Beckett is relevant.
I feel
to
like
today.
we've had so many people, we have had so many people's commentary on the listlessness and hopelessness of life, and it just feels like this is another one in there, and it's just not doing anything new or original or.
That's
or
what everybody
unique.
does. Only they do it with a different.
But that's what I'm saying.
shade
Like,
of
there's
paint.
nothing. There was nothing exciting in this paint. It was literally just like a crew.
I don't think it was supposed to be. I don't think it was supposed to be very descriptive or very colorful. I
No,
think it
but
was
he
supposed to be-
obviously, the creator obviously thought this was important enough to devise and to stage
Yeah.
and to write about. And of course, since there's no dialogue, that's a comment by itself that we can't communicate, we can't speak, we can't understand each other, and that all comes into deconstructionism. It's been a big literary movement, but that is moving aside also. Again, that's big post-war influence.
Mhm. Already done. Do we have any final thoughts?
I think we've said it all.
Okay.
I think we've said it all.
I would say of the many things that you can read and you can study, there are more relevant authors and pieces than this.
Yeah.
I took a as I said, I took a postmodernism class. It was my very last, it was during my last semester at OCC, and the first unit was Samuel Beckett. And we also covered Samuel Beckett in Irish literature. And I think it was always interesting to go over that and his plays and the adaptations. I know that Alan Rickman played a role in one of the adaptations. I should know which one it was. I think it was the play called Play, the one where they're in where they're in the cemetery. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much my notes as well. But I think that it is it's very interesting to study. I will say that it's not his most, it's not the most exciting thing that you're going to read, but it is one of the more thought-provoking things that you are going to read. And it's interesting to dissect it, too. But take it from me.
Take it from him, because you're not getting it from any of us at all. So.
Why would you give this less than 1 star? I wouldn't.
Renny gave it 1.5.
I'll give it 1.5.
If I could, a -1. If not,
A minus.
You mean a 0?
She would goad it right off the stage. I'm giving it a 1. I'm not discrediting the genre. I'm not discrediting the author. It's just this piece in particular felt pretentious and like it had one eye on the audience too many. That was just my personal
I would
opinion.
say I would give it a 4 on the basis that it's worth examining.
In the bottom of your trash bin. That's just me.
Maybe the bottom of your trash bin.
That's what I'm saying, in the bottom of my trash bin.
Oh, yeah. Your trash bin must be a very valuable. It must be. It must carry valuable treasure back.
We agree to disagree.
Let's not quarrel, children.
It's literary gladiators. We discuss and debate.
there's no hard feelings.
Oh yeah, no hard feelings.
But if you're interested in reading this and Samuel Beckett's other dramatic works, you can find it right here. And thank you for tuning in to this discussion, and I want to thank Renny for letting us film
You're
here.
very, very welcome. You can come back anytime.
Renny, we appreciate it. And be sure to join us next time for another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.
Keep reading.